Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll present you with a build and team guide for Yanagi. Personally, I'm very excited for this character because we're finally getting a character for disorder type teams. She's gonna enhance your anomaly teams further, especially disorder damage. But before I start with the build guide part of this video, I'd also like to let you know that you can find exactly what materials you'll need for her if you care about pre-farming within the description down below. And with that out of the way, let's start with her main stats. For main stats, you will of course want anomaly proficiency on drive disc 4 because she is an anomaly based character. She scales on anomaly proficiency, and also her passive ability, the mini disorder thing that she has, also does scale based off her own anomaly proficiency. That's why it's extremely important you get as much out of this stat. Regarding drive disc 5, you'll want electric damage percentage or attack percentage if electric damage is not available, you don't have it yet. You can also go with pen ratio stat. This does also work for Yanagi, but then you have to build her slightly different if you want to go this route. We'll get more into that later. And lastly, drive disc 6, it's going to be anomaly mastery, so you'll have a faster build up rate on enemies to get those shocks faster out there. However, there is some argument for attack percentage as well if you wish to do so, but if you do that, it would only kinda work if enemies are weak to electric, because then you would still have a decent anomaly buildup of electric against those enemies. If they're neutral, then I would not recommend sticking with an attack percentage and just keep anomaly mastery. Now let's also talk about her substats. There's several ways how to go about it with this one. For example, if you're playing a drive disc 5 penetration build for your Yanagi, you would be also focusing on flat pen substats along with that anomaly proficiency, attack percentage, and flat attack. If you're not going for penetration stats, then you can disregard the flat pen substats. Basically, the flat pen value will depend on how much penetration percentage / defense shred you have already on your character within your team. The more percentage you can get, the more valuable the flat penetration stats will be. Also, do know that Yanagi does have 10% penetration baked straight into her kit, so getting high values of penetration ratio is definitely possible with Yanagi. Overall, the penetration stats can be quite costly to invest in, but it does provide more damage overall if you can stack a lot of penetration stats. However, do know that over 100% penetration is useless. 100% is pretty much the cap. Don't go over that. Also, as a big reminder, don't build your Yanagi for crit because her motion values got nerfed. She's pretty much just for AP. You go full AP, attack percentage, and also penetration stuff if you can afford to do so. Now let's talk about her drive disc 4-piece options. It's going to be between Chaos Jazz and Freedom Blues. Chaos Jazz is going to be pretty decent. However, do know that you will not have necessarily full time of this buff due to its duration being 5 seconds, and your Yanagi might be longer than 5 seconds on the field, and also the cooldown is 7.5 seconds, so there might be some downtime, and you kind of have to also pay more attention to get full value of this bonus. If you want something more for ease of use, Freedom Blues is gonna do pretty well. It does reduce target anomaly build-up press by 20% whenever you use an X special attack. Do note that the anomaly build-up press type depends on your equiper attribute, so for Yanagi it would be electric. If you are going with Chaos Jazz no matter what, I would still recommend you have somebody within the team that has Freedom Blues, and ideally that teammate would either be of element that is Yanagi, which is electric, or an element that matches with the other anomaly character within your team, so they can also build up faster anomaly build up. Now let's also go over 2-piece options. She has quite plenty of options regarding this one. It's either Chaos Jazz, Freedom Blues, which does provide anomaly proficiency plus 30. If you're going for a penetration percentage build, then you would want Puffer Electro for this 8% pen ratio. If you're not going for the penetration build, then you can of course disregard this set bonus. And lastly, you can also go Thunder Metal. Personally, I wouldn't recommend this 2-piece as much, unless you have like some really good substats on this. Generally, I would just recommend between Chaos Jazz and Freedom Blues 2-piece, or Puffer Electro if you're going with pen ratio build. Now let's go over her V-Engine options. Let's start with her signature best in slot V-Engine, advanced stat of 30% attack. The passive does provide an electric anomaly build-up rate by 30%. This is very strong because you'll be able to build up your anomaly relatively fast. Also, Also, when the special attacks hit an enemy, she will gain 75 anomaly proficiency for 15 seconds. And also when anomaly proficiency is above 375, the disorder damage is increased by 25%. Do note that this disorder damage boost is only for the holder of the V engine, not for your teammates. This does complement well her base kit, because in her base kit she also has nice disorder damage multipliers increases and also that extra mini polar disorder. So this stuff all goes well together. Her signature is definitely very powerful, but fortunately she has some other options as well. Among the S rank options, it's going to be Fusion Compiler. This is an excellent V engine that provides advanced stats of pen ratio. As for the passive, it provides a 12% attack boost. This is a combat attack boost, so you're gonna get quite a decent amount of attack out of this one. Also, whenever she uses a special attack or X special attack, she'll have also an anomaly proficiency boost for 8 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. I don't think we'll be able to get 3 stacks of this consistently. Getting 2 stacks should be more than doable, but what's the biggest value of this V engine is this advanced stat of pen ratio, because effectively it allows you to build a penetration build on your Yanagi. You can go with this Fusion Compiler V engine plus the pen ratio drive disk 5, her passive, which also provides a bit of pen ratio, and the 2-piece buffer electro. That should be about 66% of pen ratio. That's very potent, and this is even without some teammates that would buff your penetration further, such as Rina. Even at 66%, it's already nice, and you can also make this more with certain teammates. Now let's continue with the V engines. Let's go over A rank options now. Electro Lip Gloss. This is the Battle Pass V engine. This one is also quite nice, but do note that it is not a free option. It costs effectively $10, and if you want to get multiple copies, it's up to $50, and it's also gonna take you quite some time to get these copies over time. It's pretty good among A ranks. It's an option that you can use. As for the free option, we have good old Weeping Gemini. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Smile. This engine has an advanced stat of attack percentage, but more importantly, the passive can provide you a quite decent amount of anomaly proficiency. We should look at this V engine at 5 copies, because you can get 5 copies for free. You can get up to 48 anomaly proficiency per stack. So if you can get 4 stacks, that would be 192 anomaly proficiency, which is very high. You're not always going to be able to get that many stacks. Even with 2-3 stacks, this is already pretty good, and it's pretty much the best free option that you can use on your Yanagi. It's going to work well with her anomaly-based type of teams. Also, any V engines that I did not mention, it's simply because I don't recommend, and I don't want to make the video too long by going over every single V engine. If there's some V engines you think that might be really good for her or anything like that, feel free to leave it down in the comments below, or if you have further questions about it, feel free to ask me down in the comments below, or even better, feel free to ask me in my streams. I stream every single day on Twitch/YouTube. I'll always happily answer these questions for you. Now let's talk about Yanagi team options. Her best in slot teammate partner, it's going to be Bernice. Over time, there might be some other characters such as a Ether Anomaly type of character that could end up being a good partner for Yanagi as well, but as of right now, it's pretty much with Bernice. And if you don't want to have Yanagi at her best, you will want Bernice. As for the support option within Bernice Yanagi team, it's going to be between Lucy or Rina, depending on your build and situation. So if enemies are weak to electric, I'll probably recommend sticking with Rina. If enemies are weak to fire, I would go with Lucy, but it also depends whether you're playing a penetration build or not. If you're playing a penetration build, then the buff from Rina is gonna help you reach even higher amount of pen ratio. If you're not playing a penetration build, then I would just recommend overall sticking with Lucy, and especially have M6 Lucy. It's gonna work wonderfully well with Bernice as well. And Bernice overall also does provide excellent anomaly build up on field and off field. That's why she's gonna synergize really well with Yanagi. Gonna have very strong disorders with this type of team. However, if Lucy or Rina is not available for this team because they're using them somewhere else at the same time in the end game modes, you could go with Caesar or Seth. These are 2 options that you could use if those 2 other options are not available. However, do know that Caesar attack buff is only for the on-field unit, so you're not gonna buff the off-field unit. So for example, if Yanagi is on the field, she will receive the attack boost boost, but Bernice will not have it. Lucy does buff both at the same time. But even with this limitation, Caesar does provide the shield, also damage increase and all that stuff besides the tag boost, so it's also a good option you can go for. As for Seth, he does provide a single target anomaly proficiency buff, which Yanagi could take advantage of it. However, he does require a significant amount of field time to do his stuff, especially to do that enhanced basic attack to apply his anomaly build-up press down. But at least what's cool about Seth within this team is that he can use Freedom Blues and you can reduce electric anomaly build-up press for your Yanagi if your Yanagi is, for example, using Chaos Jazz. Now let's also talk about Yanagi teams without Bernice. I don't think they're gonna be as good as with Bernice, but they can still function just well to get max rewards and all that stuff within endgame content, at least as of right now. I would only recommend going this route. Let's say you're skipping Bernice and you're going for Yanagi. If you know about any upcoming characters that are being anomaly, if you know this information that's like something out there else for Yanagi besides just Bernice, then you could just quote-unquote suck it up and just wait until that happens and have Yanagi without Bernice in the meantime. So for the Bernice teams, it's going to be pretty much with Caesar plus Jane or Piper. This is something that should work on paper. In practice, it does require some testing, but it should still be functional enough to get you max rewards. You can also use Seth instead of Caesar if Caesar is not available, but it will be weaker. And also you can try with Mono Electric team. I'm personally not really a big fan of this team, but it's definitely something you can use, which would be Seth plus Rina with Yanagi, of course. This is something that you can use, and effectively it should work to some extent against electric weakness content. It's not going to be as good and as fast as the regular, normal disorder type of teams. It's still something that can work to get you max rewards if you don't have Bernice yet available and you're waiting for some other type of teammate for your Yanagi. Now let's also go quickly over her Bangbu options. The best in slot is going to be Agent Gulliver whenever we can fulfill its condition of having 2 Section 6 agents within the team. But as of right now, there are no good Section 6 teammates for Yanagi, so this Bangbu is going to be on hold. In the meantime, until then, we have our good old Plug Boom. This guy is going to work excellently well at building up electric anomalies, so if you're playing double electric teammates within the team, go with Plug Boo. However, if you're playing with Lucy and Bernice for your Yanagi team, then you can go with Rocket Boo instead. This one is going to build up more fire anomaly. Generally, you want to stick with Bang Boos that are good at building up anomaly. And if you're playing Yanagi with 2 physical teammates, you can easily go with something like Bang Volver and you get its additional ability for his chain attack to have increased anomaly build up. Regarding Mindscapes, I don't really recommend going for them at this point in time, but if you truly want to pull for them, it's not like I can stop you. I'll just go quickly over them. Mindscape 1, it provides a stacking anomaly proficiency buff. This will pair up nicely with her V engine, and you're gonna have a lot of anomaly proficiency for her polarity disorder damage. Her Mindscape 2 will give you electric anomaly build-up rate for her X special attacks. If you combine this with her V engine, you're gonna have a decent amount of electric anomaly build-up rate. Then also her X special attack has a hold mechanism now, where you hold the button and you're gonna perform additional thrust attacks. And on top of that, M2 also provides a damage multiplier increase for her polarity disorders. As for her Mindscape 4, whenever Yanagi deals attribute anomaly damage to an enemy, your entire team attacking that enemy will have pen ratio increased against them. And lastly, her Mindscape 6, it's very strong for an M6. Feel free to read it on the screen if you want to. Like I said, I don't really want to double too much on this stuff because I don't really recommend it. And that's about it. So overall with Yanagi, she's a very strong character for anomaly disorder-based teams. She will only get better over time as we get more teammate options, other anomalies, especially any kind of ether anomaly agent corruption. That would be very great to see. And yeah, I guess this is it for this video. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask me in the comments down below, or even better, feel free to ask me on my streams. I stream every single day on Twitch/YouTube. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I also like to let you know that I do honky style content besides Zenless Zone Zero, more content of both to come. And yeah, I guess this is it for this video. I wish you a wonderful day and see you in the next video.